Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the JJ Show. I hope all is well. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's had a blessed weekend. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff, unexplainable stuff. A lot of war stuff. A lot of nonsense stuff. I mean, it's all there, and it's all in the play, and it's all part of the playbook. We're gonna talk about it a little bit tonight and get to some other things. Definitely pray for all the people, and I'm not choosing any sides or whatsoever. I mean, I think religion is a freedom of speech. If you want to be a Muslim, be a Muslim. You want to be a rabbi, be a rabbi. You want to be a Catholic, be a Catholic. You just want to be a follower of Christ, be a follower of Christ. But there is no reason for a lot of this nonsense going on right now. And I will be verbal about it. I don't want to get political about it, but a lot of stuff that's going on right now is not what should be going on right now. Not based on what we've been told and what we were told and we were promised would happen. With that being said, on to the first video. We're not going to get into that too much because I ain't got time for it and or the patience for it. So let's get into it.
They are all lying to you, and here is your proof. Be right back.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers.
We may have to deal with that in the short term.
Short-term and temporary.
Temporary short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain.
Short-term pain. We have to focus on the short-term.
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 Short-term and long-term.
Short-term blip.
Make sure you get this out there like wildfire. Here's the problem. Mostly everybody in America is brainwashed. Fear-mongering, right? No, it's the truth. And they say, oh, you're watching the wrong news station. It's all of them. Don't y'all remember what Operation Mockingbird is? We'll get to this in 1 second. Let me make this clear for people who still believe their TV screen. If you don't have independent journalists on the ground in these locations, you're going to be out of the loop and completely unaware of anything that's happening. I have those things, and so do other people. There is no right media station. But yeah, shoot the messenger as always. Listen.
You just wait to see what comes in the next 2 weeks.
The next 2 weeks meaning what?
We're going to blow the hell out of these people. This regime is in a death row now. It is going to be on its knees. It's going to fall. And when it falls, we're going to have peace like...
When it falls, they're going to have peace. When they say peace and safety. Parallels as always. Get this out there. Let me know what you think. Why do all these people still believe what's on their TV screen?
Big shout out to Moon Henry, man. I get a lot of content from him. Y'all gonna see another video from him tonight. But he's on point, man, and he's on top of everything that's going on. He's all over the place. He's on Facebook. He's on X. He's on YouTube. He's on here. Follow this man. He's a great influencer and definitely does his research and his homework on these things. And a great guy all around. Shout out to you, Moon Henry. Thank you for the content. I'm with you, though. They're all liars at MSNBC. You can't control, you cannot expect them to tell you the truth. They lie so much. Prime example of this, we'll use this real quick. You remember, we went to war with Iraq for weapons of mass destruction. Where are those weapons at? We went to war, now we're at war with Iran because they got missiles, but we got the UN telling us they don't have nuclear missiles. But all the rest of the world can have them except for Iran, which is stupid, which none of us should have them. I said that last night on my TikTok. But still, though, even though they have the people that go in and inspect to see if people have nuclear arsenals or not, came back and said they did. Okay, could there be paid off persuasion? Sure. Could there could be this? Sure. Could it be that? Sure. But come on, man. We were promised peace. We're getting war. And that's what we're getting. We're fighting every war. If Israel says they want somebody bombed, we're right there on it with them. And it's sad to see. I have no problems with Israel whatsoever, but it's just, we're killing innocent people for what? What is the gain of all this? That's just my main question of it all. I'm not military. My dad was a Vietnam vet. I do have friends that are in the military. So, I can't weigh in on this a lot because I don't know. I ask people that I know before I go on here and explain anything that I do learn from them because they know a hell of a lot more than I do. But I got a lot of unanswered questions, and that's one of them. Well, what did we gain in Iraq? And what are we going to gain from Iran? Nothing, I don't think. Or Venezuela, as that. But that's just my opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only, and the rest will be as well. But on to the next video.
They know what's going on here. I remember the Democratic leader's words of March 4th, 2020, on the steps of the United States Supreme Court, like they were yesterday. I want to tell you, Gorsuch, he said, not Justice Gorsuch, Gorsuch. I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions. Wow. Just wow. I think Matthew 12:36 is correct. For by thy words you shall be justified, and by thy words you shall be condemned. Now, the sad truth is that some, not all, some of my Democratic colleagues have been on a crusade to undermine the United States Supreme Court's legitimacy and the credibility of the federal judiciary for years. Today's hearing is just the next chapter in their federal power grab, and they've invited cameras. It's worth remembering the very real persecution that some Democrats have levied on very good people. It started with the savage destruction of Professor and Judge Robert Bork, which even the Washington Post, for God's sakes, the Washington Post said was a case of sentencing first, verdict afterwards. In other words, they gave him a fair and impartial firing squad. Then we saw the high-tech lynching of Justice Clarence Thomas. Then, for the first time in history, they weaponized the filibuster to kill Mr. Miguel Estrada's nomination, and they also demonized Justice Janice Rogers Brown, a very fine person. When the United States Senate confirmed 3 new Supreme Court justices, which the loon wing of the Democratic Party loathed, the campaign of threats ratcheted up. You remember the shouts. Let's pack the court, they said. Let's pack the court. And the political threats of some of the highest officials in our government fueled physical threats against the justices, and we know that. You have released the whirlwind, the Democratic leader said. Incensed protesters took to the streets, not outside Congress, not outside the court, but outside the homes of Justice Roberts, Justice Kavanaugh, Justice Thomas, and Justice Barrett. Federal law prohibits this intimidation, but the Biden Justice Department allowed it. You will pay the price, the Democratic leader said. In that spirit, angry protesters publicized the location of the school that Justice Barrett's children attend. You won't know what hit you, the Democratic leader said. A man with a gun, ammunition, knife, pepper spray, and zip ties went to a justice's home to assassinate him.
Look, like I said at the beginning of this video, I don't like to get into politics, and I'm not on either side. But that man right there has always spoke truth. He's always put it point blank. That man will have my vote any day. I think he should run for president, but we'll never see that. We'll never see a man that's like that wants to bring justice to things that need to be brought justice to, if I said that right. But, yeah, we'll never see that. Very proud of what he did for New Orleans after all that stuff happened, the shooting, the New Year's thing. He was there with his people. And that's what these guys are supposed to do. Senators, our congressmen and women, they're supposed to be there with us, the people. They're supposed to be there to represent us, the people. That has fallen way behind what it should be. And the American voice ain't heard anymore. They're out there just playing games and debate and stretching stuff out and using the mainstream media to keep us divided during everything else that's going on. And it's absolutely insane. And a friend of mine asked me the other day, what can I do about it? It's about true. What can you do about it besides go up to Washington and say no more? We're not going to deal with it no more. But even if we get people elected that we think will do a good job in there, they choose a side and then they become something they never were when they went in. I've watched that time after time after time after time. I'll be 30 next week. I've been on this earth for 43 years. I watched this, paid attention to it most of my life because my dad was all into politics. Me, on the other hand, I never was, but out of respect, I watched them and paid attention to what was going on. And it's a bread and circus show. That's all it is, man. It used to be years ago, if you go back and look, there was an independent party. There was 3 parties. And there was also different parties. Some I totally don't agree with at all. But some were there for us, the American people. But we don't see that anymore, and we're not going to see that in this country again. And that's sad to say, but it's the truth. And I pray for this younger generation because they don't know what they got coming to them, and it's not all roses and flowers, I promise you. It's going to be probably the worst you could ever imagine you could see in this country. It's coming. And I pray that our families, my family, your family, God puts a full armor of God around them and protects them. But with that being said, on to the next video.
I don't think you get it. Everything I possess was given to me. This mansion was given to me. I pay for nothing, but I'm a millionaire. Do you not get it? Do you not get it?
Okay, right, you're saying you're rich in spirit.
No, I'm rich physical. Nigga, my bank account rich. Nigga, I pull it up right now, another zeros, nigga.
Right.
What I'm saying is this, that the money is useless. Everybody wants the money, but the money is useless. The money is only good for the purpose. Let me tell you something, gang. I don't give a fuck what nobody say, right? You can eat right. You can exercise right. You can do everything right. If you live life without attention, without purpose, you're gonna die. Right? The only way your body know to live is when you have purpose. And that goes by your attentions. That's why I say everybody walking dead because they about to die because their body already fucking dead. They're the walking dead. Right? So that can't be true. Death and life is the same. That's what a lot of people don't know. You're trying to separate shit. Everything is one. You can't separate death from life. How can you do that? How can you separate death from life when there's no such thing as death?
My point exactly. I mean, Henry's on point. Yeah, I mean, we don't know the truth. The mainstream's lying to us. They're not telling us, but not even half the story. Not even half. Innocent people are dying. People in Israel's dying, which is horrible. Iranians dying, but Israel has nobody to blame but themselves. They shot at Iran first, and the U.S. came in to back them up. Why? Why are we doing this? Why are we spending our tax dollars on this when we got more problems at home? We find out we get a half-redacted thing of the Epstein files that we were all promised, okay? Nobody cares, okay, that our country's being ran by very bad people. I'm going to say it in a nice way. Nobody cares. Nobody calling for them to be kicked out of office or do anything like that. But we got plenty of money to go blow on war if we need to. Oh no, don't worry about that. We'll strap it down and send them over there and blow them up. And I'm sorry, my stepson's over there. I don't want to name what country, but no, I don't agree with all this. I don't. And what they're doing is straight insanity. It's insanity. They're warning our troops of Armageddon right now. That's insane. Pay attention to the news. And sometimes you gotta look outside of the U.S. news and go to the U.K. news, the French news, all different places, Russian news. I mean, listen to what these other people are saying, because we're not the only country in this world. And like he said in the video, they're screaming not, oh great, Iran's free. No, they're screaming death to America. That means they got sleeper cells here. And you're foolish if you don't think they don't. There's a CIA whistleblower that straight up said that they are putting them in small towns where military people retire to blow them up. Suicide bombs. Now, something like that happens, people gonna go stir crazy. It's gonna break so much stuff loose, it's not even funny. But think what you want, believe what you want. Just trying to warn you guys of things that could possibly come. It's not looking good for the home team. I wish our troops and our friends and family that are over there right now, God bless them, and I hope God they don't go through what our boys did back in Iraq and Afghanistan, because them boys, I got a lot of respect for them, and that's all I'm going to say about that. I'll leave it at that. But this is becoming a joke. We need to pull out Iran now. We should have been long gone. We should have nothing to do with that. That's between Iran and Israel, period. But besides that, I'm done with it.
2 mass casualty events in the last 12 hours. Israel is being destroyed. I woke up with a terrible feeling. Do you know that Russia is now saying that the US untied their hands when it comes to using nukes in Europe because what happened with Iran? What if I told you the mass casualty that just happened in Austin, that he was wearing a pro-Iranian shirt, so they're suspecting that he was influenced by what's happening and that's why he did this? Sleeper cells? Not even yet. We're not there yet. This is simply influence. And then we have the Ohio mass casualty event. By the way, there is missiles being shot off everywhere, bases being attacked, also by citizens of other countries, U.S. bases. CENTCOM comes out and says that we lost 3 soldiers, 5 heavily wounded, and for some reason Iran is saying about 500 soldiers. So in Ohio, was that MK, or was that also some kind of influence? This is Jerusalem. There is a giant crater, vehicles in the crater, a bunch of casualties. By the way, there I picked the new acting supreme leader, and I know they're showing you all these celebrating Iranians. I've seen many more chanting death to America than I've seen celebrating. Here's a large group of them. Look, this is my job. I have people in all these locations. I don't listen to what the TV box tells me to listen to. The US just asked for a peace treaty, and Iran said, heck no. I believe that this right here was the US ammunition depot. If not, maybe it's that one right there. Above me, you see all hell breaking loose in Israel. And right below that, you see the first U.S. casualties in this new war. I hope I'm wrong, but this war is not going to end like the one last year. Trying to flee places in Israel, every single Iranian military leader is all calling for revenge. And we just had 4 years of an open border.
My point exactly. Henry's on point. Yeah, I mean, we don't know the truth. The mainstream's lying to us. They're not telling us, but not even half the story. Not even half. Innocent people are dying. People in Israel's dying, which is horrible. Iranians dying, but Israel has nobody to blame but themselves. They shot at Iran first, and the U.S. came in to back them up. Why? Why are we doing this? Why are we spending our tax dollars on this when we got more problems at home? We find out we get a half redacted thing of the Epstein files that we were all promised. Okay, nobody cares. Okay, that our country's being ran by very bad people. I'm gonna say it in a nice way. Nobody cares. Nobody calling for them to be kicked out of office or do anything like that. But we got plenty of money to go blow on war if we need to. Oh no, don't worry about that. We'll strap it down and send them over there and blow them up. And I'm sorry, my stepson's over there. I don't want to name what country, but no, I don't agree with all this. I don't. And what they're doing is straight insanity. It's insanity. They're warning our troops about Armageddon right now. That's insane. Pay attention to the news. And sometimes you gotta look outside of the U.S. news and go to the UK news, the French news, all different places, Russian news. I mean, listen to what these other people are saying, because we're not the only country in this world. And like he said in the video, they're screaming not, oh great, Iran's free. No, they're screaming death to America. That means they got sleeper cells here. And don't think, and you're foolish if you don't think they don't. There's a CIA whistleblower that straight up said that they are putting them in small towns where military people retire to blow them up. Suicide bombers. Now, something like that happens, people gonna go stir crazy. It's gonna break so much stuff loose, it's not even funny. But think what you want, believe what you want. Just trying to warn you guys of things that could possibly come. It's not looking good for the home team. I wish our troops and our friends and family that are over there right now, God bless them, and I hope God they don't go through what our boys did back in Iraq and Afghanistan, because them boys, I got a lot of respect for them, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. I'll leave it at that. But this is becoming a joke. We need to pull out Iran now. We should have been long gone. We should have nothing to do with that. That's between Iran and Israel. Period. But besides that, I'm done with it.
Listen up. So I'm starting to figure out some things. Fox News is actually reporting on this. Chasing the Apocalypse, radical Shiite clerics on American soil preach prophetic showdown with U.S. They're framing this conflict between the U.S. and Iran as prophecy for the arrival of their Mahdi, or Messiah. See, their Antichrist figure is the Dajjal, and they believe that figure is Trump. Now, on the other side, U.S. troops are told that Iran war is for Armageddon and the return of Jesus. But anyone who reads their Bible knows that the figure that is about to appear is the Antichrist. So we have the Muslims on one side thinking their Mahdi or Messiah is about to appear. And then we have the Jewish people on one side thinking their Messiah is about to appear. Then in between, we have Christians that don't know their Bible and don't understand that this figure that is about to appear is the Antichrist. I want to show you where we really are. Jeremiah chapter 49 verse 35, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Behold, I will break the bow of Elam. the chief of their might. Some people believe that this has not happened yet, but if it hadn't happened yet, we wouldn't be over there right now. We wouldn't be over there trying to dismantle the militias, get rid of their nuclear capabilities, and free their people. Breaking the bow of Elam would be dismantling their military capabilities. Daniel 10 identifies the Prince of Persia. We know it is a demonic principality, and its assignment is to oppose God's purpose for Israel. It's the same spirit that drove Haman in the book of Esther. This is exactly what Jeremiah chapter 49 describes. Not diplomacy, but the breaking of the bow. The removal of anything that can threaten Israel. And that breaking is a precondition of Ezekiel 38. Because you cannot have Ezekiel chapter 38 happen before Jeremiah chapter 49. Once Elam's bow is broken, then the bow of the Antichrist is going to appear, with no arrows, which will be a bow of false peace. What we're seeing right now is not history being made, it is prophecy being fulfilled. Anyone who reads their Bibles know that Elam's bow has to go. And then tribulation starts. Jeremiah chapter 49 starts a chain of events. Verse 38 says, "And I will set my throne in Elam, and will destroy from thence the king and the princes, saith the Lord." The supreme leader was killed, and then they set up another leader. He was killed. It seems to be what's going to keep on happening. Just like verse 38 says, the bow was being broken during the blood moon eclipse, during Purim. Jeremiah 49 is the runway to get to the destination, and everything is moving into position. In Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 11 and 12. "And for this cause God shall send them a strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned, who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness." If you do not have a relationship with Jesus, you are going to be deceived. They are setting up the lie right now. When this figure, this Antichrist figure appears, a lot of people are going to think he is the Messiah. Do not be deceived. And if you do not have a relationship with Jesus, you need to get one now. The Bible says that if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe that he died, was buried, and rose again for the remission of your sins, you will be saved. Don't wait until it's too late.
Alright, that wraps it up for the show, but this young lady right here, she knows her stuff, and yes, read your Bible. Read your Bible. Don't go to Sunday church to get that feel-good feeling. No, you need to read your Bible. You need to understand what's going on right now. Because if you don't, you're going to be blindsided. Just like Jesus said, he's going to come like a thief in the night. And those days are coming. Things are happening. And I was talking to some people in my prayer group the other day, and made a very valid point. The firmament is in the Bible 17 times. Science didn't come around until 1969. Okay? That's how many thousands of years before science came around? But the firmament is mentioned 17 times in the Bible. You can go look it up yourself. You can read it yourself. If you go to the Ethiopian Bible, you'll definitely find a lot more information like the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Book of Enoch. I'm reading the Book of Mother Mary right now, which is absolutely stunning. I also ordered the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, working on reading that next. There's a lot of truth they didn't tell us. And these folks are being blindsided. I mean, think about this real quick before I go. AI. Okay? I had a very bad dream about AI, and it's a short version for a demon name. Okay? Number one. Number two, okay, it may not have the will to say kill us all unless we have like iRobot, the robot taking care of our stuff in the house every day. That could happen. It could have a kill switch, whatever. But who's to say that it can't just sit there and fire off a bomb into Atlanta or Birmingham or Chicago, wherever, and say, oh, if you don't listen to what we say, we're just shooting another missile at you. We don't know that could happen. Okay? Listen to what Peter Thiel says. He wants to usher us in. He says it's going to stop the Antichrist. But no, it's not. They're getting it to a point where you have to have a digital ID. Eventually, they test run with TV. They're gonna try to get it where you have to have a chip in your head or your forehead. It's all coming. Teach your kids, teach your friends, Christians, come together. I'm a sinner, but I fight with God, and I'm going to fight this fight with Him all the way to the end. And I'm going to speak my opinion. Does every Christian agree with me? No, but we're not supposed to all agree. We're supposed to be a family, though. What did Jesus always say? He could have the flock of the 99, but the one that He goes after is the one that's, led astray. That's the one He goes for. Christ be with you all. I love you all. Definitely share, like, subscribe, please. It helps tremendously. Y'all also know another way y'all can help the show out. I've put it on here before. Gonna share on TikTok now, a little message letting everybody know I'm here over here. They can come watch the video over here. So glad to see you all back in, and glad doing the show for you guys. God bless you all, and good night from JJ.